Okay, we ended up at the gatefold when my tape stopped. So this session is in two parts. So we had done one gatefold. There's two of them. And I had made a mistake and done the 1/4 inch there, or the 1/8 of an inch in the wrong place. So I just scored it, and I'm just leaving that mark because it's going to have a cover on it. I don't think it'll show. So the gatefolds have one piece of tape on the first, between the score and the edge, in that 1/2 inch mark. And they're both ready to go. Okay, our next one is the pouch. This one has, when I first cut it, I did it 8.5 inches, and it calls for, let's see, 8 7/8. Let's see if I did that right. Close enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this over for a minute. I want you to see how I cut this. First, I'm going to score it, and it is going to be scored, let's see, pouch, 1/2 and 3/4 on all sides. There's a little bit of shadow here, but I'm going to place it on the 1/2 mark on the long side, and I'm going to score it, and I'm going to turn it on its side. So I'm doing 2 short ends and 1 long end, 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to do those same sides another 1/4 inch, so at the 3/4 mark. So each side of the 3 sides we're doing is going to have 2 lines. Okay, this is the special pouch that goes in the middle of your album. I'm now going to just press it down a little bit, remembering there's 2 lines. I'm just burnishing both of the lines, making them more obvious. It can be just with your fingers or with the score tool. Okay, now we're going to put a piece of tape on both short ends and 1 long end, but it only has to go to the 2nd score line. Tear it off. So it's going to have 3 pieces of tape on it. 1, 2, and 3. It's easier to start at the score line. Okay, now this one is cut a little unusual. We're going to take a pair of scissors and we're going to cut on the small score line here, right to, let's see, yes, right straight to the side of the little 1/4 inch one, like so. And then I'm going to cut off the first score line. So I have this little teeny tab there, little teeny tab. Do the same thing to the other side. Snip to the 2nd score line, and then cut off to the 1st score line. There we go. Now there's 2 more cuts to make on each one. We're going to cut, we went all the way to that little mark. We're going to cut this off at an angle, just to the score line. So it's sort of at a diagonal. And then from here, we're going to do the same thing. I think I was supposed to cut from there. Let's do it from the 1st score line. I might have made a mistake on that one. I shall see when I put it together. So when we go to fold these, nope, it is the second one. It is at the second line. So from that little line, we want to make it an edge. We did it right. So it's almost like a slant there. So when we go to put this together, this will be like that, a little squared edge, and this will be tucked in. And that will be our special pocket. So that is our pouch. So our pouch was 8 7/8 by 4 inches, and we scored it 2 times. On the back of this, we have the rest of our cuts. And it says top flap for pouch. That's the next one in your pile. And it's 5 inches by 7 7/16. And we're going to score this one at 1/4 3/4. Pick up my trash. Now this is the top flap, so we are going to score it on the long edge. So the short edge goes up top, and it's at 1/2 3/4. So it's at the same level as the pouch was. 1/2, 3/4, fold on the 1/2, fold down to the 3/4. Now you're going to put tape on the 1/2 inch part. I'm still using 3/8. And that is our top flap. Okay, now we have a couple of triangles to deal with. We had taken a 4 3/4 square, cut it in half, and what we're going to do is we're going to score on the 1/2 inch marks on the right angles. So if you lay this on cloth along the top at the 1/2 inch, I'm going to score down a 1/2 inch. Flip it over, go back to the 1/2 inch. So you're leaving your diagonal alone. So I'm going to do this both sides for both triangles, just the right angle, nothing on the diagonal. 1/2 inch. Now when you put the tape on this one, you only have to tape from the score line. And we're going to trim this one just a little bit differently too. Sometimes I think these are easier to cut than tear. So I'm starting down to that score line. I'll just trim this one. Okay, I have 2 of them. I'll do that before I trim them. Now for this one, we're going to cut off where they meet again. So it's almost easier to take big scissors and cut at a diagonal right through the score lines. So you have the 2 score lines, cut right through it at the point. And then when you fold these over,